Hello, language enthusiasts! Today we're diving into the world of idioms, those colorful expressions that make language such a joy to explore. Our idiom of the day is rule of thumb, an intriguing phrase that's been part of the English language for centuries. The rule of thumb, in its simplest form, refers to a basic principle or guideline that people generally follow. It's a broad stroke advice, not necessarily scientifically proven, but often found to be true. So, what does rule of thumb mean? It's a basic principle that people generally follow. Now, let's see rule of thumb in action. Picture this. You're in a meeting discussing a new project. Your manager, wanting to speed up the decision-making process, says, as a rule of thumb, let's prioritize tasks that can be completed within a week. Here, the idiom is used to establish a general guideline for the team's decision-making. It's not a hard and fast rule, but a flexible principle that aids in swift and efficient project management. Next, imagine you're at a cooking class. The chef, while explaining the recipe, remarks, "A good rule of thumb when baking is to always preheat your oven." In this context, the idiom is used to share a practical tip, a routine habit that can make a significant difference in the end result of your baking endeavors. Now for a dash of humor. Picture a dad teaching his child how to ride a bike. He says, "The rule of thumb for cycling, kiddo, is to keep your eyes on the road, not on the ice cream truck." In this instance, the idiom is used in a lighthearted way to remind the child to stay focused while riding. As you can see, rule of thumb can be applied in many different contexts, from serious to humorous. But where does this idiom come from? Well, let's dive into its origins. The phrase rule of thumb first surfaced in 17th century England. It's widely believed to have been a reference to the width of a man's thumb, used as a makeshift rule for measurement. This was a time before standardized units, you see. People had to make do with what they had on hand, quite literally. So, rule of thumb has quite a fascinating history, doesn't it? Now, let's explore some interesting facts about rule of thumb. Did you know this idiom has a fascinating equivalent in Spanish? They say regla de oro, which translates to golden rule. While our rule of thumb implies a broadly accurate guide or principle, regla de oro suggests a paramount or ultimate rule. These linguistic variations reflect the cultural nuances in how we perceive and express wisdom. Isn't it interesting how different cultures interpret idioms in their own unique ways? So, what can we take away from our discussion about rule of thumb? This idiom reminds us that not everything in life needs an exact measure. It encourages us to trust our instincts, to make swift, practical decisions based on experience and common sense. It's about appreciating the power of simplicity in our complex world. It's a celebration of human judgment, a nod to our ability to estimate and adapt. So remember, using the rule of thumb can help us make quick decisions when we need to. Now, it's your turn. What is the rule of thumb that you live by? Were you taught this or did you learn it from personal experience? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. After all, it's through sharing that we enrich our understanding and appreciation of language. Remember, language is a tool to express ourselves, and idioms like rule of thumb make it all the more colorful. So, don't shy away from using them. And, as always, keep exploring, keep learning. Until next time, take care.